You're listening to Eric's Top News. Oh yeah. This music. Yep. I'm continuing playing the 18 Wheels of Steel across America for the introduction of these episodes of Eric's Top News. Before that, it was American Truck Simulator. Because I played them all. I played all the soundtracks as the introduction, so now here I am with the 18 Wheels of Steel across America. And there's a lot. There's quite a lot, so might as well play all of those too. I mean, once in a while I'll play like a different kind of theme music. But, yeah. Alright. So, episode 16. And I think you probably remember if you listened to the last episode, which I don't think not many of y'all did. It was called a weird explanation of why the big party movie was delayed. Alright. Well, I did say in that episode that the next episode, which is this one, would be on August the 10th. Well, turns out it's the day after. Tuesday, August the 11th. And I'm glad it is on the 11th because there's actually more things I want to talk about other than just the big summer party movie. But this is what this episode is about. Me talking about the big summer party movie. Yeah, finally. I know. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. So, this is going to be a big episode, but I'm going to try not to take my sweet time because, as you can see, it's daylight behind me. A lot of times I usually record these at night. The reason why it's during the day this time is because last night I was gonna try to record this episode Monday night after part 1 of me celebrating 4,000 subscribers, but I was just so tired. So then I was gonna do it early in the morning. I set my alarm to wake up at 8 a.m. and I heard my alarm on my phone, but I was still tired. I slept for over 6 hours, which is a little under average. The average amount of sleep is 7 or 8, 7 to 8, maybe 7.5. Okay, I was still tired, so I decided not to record it in the morning. So I am recording this right after I got home from work. So I kind of have to move at a, not a super fast pace, but not, me taking my sweet time because the plan is to release this during the evening hours on Tuesday, August the 11th. And then I'm going to go live stream for part 2 of the 4,000 subscribers special. Because it's not a good idea to live stream while you're uploading something, especially when your upload speed is low. And I tried to do that during part 4 of New Super Mario Bros. On the DS, and it was just not working well. So I had to cancel the upload and upload that video after I got done with the live stream. Plus, obviously, you guys know this, the longer the video is, the bigger the video file is, and meaning the longer it takes for it to upload. So, if I go live late again tonight, Tuesday night, it's because of this episode of Eric's Top News uploading, but that's okay. So that's why I can't really take my sweet time, even though there is a lot to talk about. And this is going to be a big episode anyways, so here we go. Summer Party movie. I finally released it a couple days ago. Saturday, August the 8th. It's about time. It was about time. So, just want to say thanks to those that tuned in while it was premiering, which it wasn't a lot of people, unfortunately. I guess most of you folks probably had plans that day. But thanks to those that tuned in throughout the premiere. Mainly you, MVP, T-Bone. You were pretty much there the whole premiere, which was over 9.5 hours. It's kind of crazy. Almost as long as the 2000 video extravaganza. I mean, think about that. That's crazy. But if you watched it as an archive, what if it's half of it? Even half of it is a lot, because that's what, like 4 hours and 45 minutes. That's half of 9.5 hours. That's still a lot. But if you're gonna watch some of it throughout the week, that's cool. I just would like to hear your thoughts and your favorite parts. Maybe I'll do some polls like I did for the 2000 video extravaganza. Remember last year after I released that gigantic video, I did some polls. Maybe I'll do the same for this Summer Party America 250 movie. Now to the party itself. So this took place on Saturday, June 27th, which was 1 week before the 4th of July. And yes, this party was about celebrating America. That's why you see red, white, and blue everywhere, because it's the 250th year in 2026. We got a lot of decorations, I'll tell you. I obviously helped out with my mom on this stuff. Yeah, this was quite the party. This was probably the biggest party, the biggest summer party, swimming party since 2021. Now in 2021, 5 years ago, was a huge year for me and my parents. Our birthdays, basically. We all turned a certain age, that's why we celebrated all of our birthdays with this big party. Even though I didn't really, well, I did some clips. This was right after I got my digital camera. I got this in 2021, a couple days after my birthday, and a couple of days before that party. And I did release that swimming party with friends from 2021 last year. Okay? So that was a huge party. And that pool table was covered, meaning a lot of people came to that party. And that was the last birthday-themed party at this house. Because before that, I would have a birthday party right here until after high school, basically. And recent years, it's just a swimming summer party, meaning the pool table doesn't get covered. And I'm okay with that, because it's cool to see people play on the pool table. And obviously the Halloween party, it's covered because a lot more people come to that party. All right. So, here we go. So the big summer party movie, I don't even know where to begin, honestly. So please bear with me. I'm going to sound like I'm all over the place, but it is what it is. I did put timestamps in the description of the big summer party movie, so that way you know what's going on. You know what's going on during that giant video, or if you want to watch a certain part of it, go to the description and click on the timestamp, and it'll get to that part of that giant video. It's like a chapter, movie chapters. That's kind of what this is. I did the same thing for the 2000 video extravaganza by adding chapters / timestamps in the description. So I might do that for all the parties. I might. I think I also did it for the Super Mario Marathon with friends earlier this year. I'm pretty sure I added timestamps of the games that we were playing. Alright, so yeah, but over 9.5 hours. It's insane. You know what? Let me just say this. It was actually supposed to be 9 hours and 52 or 53 minutes. Okay. So there were 16 minutes missing from that giant video. And obviously I made all the cuts. I made all the cuts before I was ready to finally premiere it. And I made sure that it wasn't globally blocked. Let me talk about that a little later on, because I found out the real reason why it was partially blocked but not globally blocked, even though USA viewers couldn't see it while it was partially blocked. Let me get into that a little later. Alright, so this is me talking about the party and the big video itself. Alright. So, finally, I premiered it over a month after it took place. I think it was worth the wait, because, I mean, hey, over 9.5 hours, which is pretty insane. It premiered at 2:30 p.m. Central Time. Okay, I wanted to make sure that the premiere doesn't end at a very, very, very late time, like in the middle of the night. So that's why it premiered at 2:30. And it ended, I believe, at 11 a.m. A little after midnight Central Time is when the premiere ended. Yeah. And I added my own countdown. Well, after the premiere countdown, in the video, the first 7.5 minutes was my own countdown because I played 2 songs. And I added the names of the songs in the description. Alright, because this is about America. This is about celebrating America. That's why I added a lot of USA theme music and clips and stuff like that. Yeah. First of all, the thumbnail. You like the thumbnail? It's kind of similar to the 2000 Video Extravaganza thumbnail, where I added the people's faces. And here are the people in this one. Me, myself, Eric/Keith. Let me do it in clockwise. Clockwise. Brad, Hamza, Landon, Logan, Sherwin, Micah, Christina, Mason, Missy LeClaire, Jade, and Caden. 12 people. They've all had their moments in this big video. I guess I did too. You know, I think my moment was when we were out by the pool playing cornhole for the first time. If you remember, first of all, you probably shouldn't be listening to this if you haven't seen the Big Party movie yet, because I'm obviously going to spoil a bunch of things. Alright, so, spoiler alert. I think my best moment was when I was, what do you call it, those bean bags or whatever? I was shooting it upwards instead of throwing it underhand, and I made it. with the camera in my hand. And if you go back, you can see it. I actually made it. I made the shot with the camera in my hand. And that's why after that you immediately saw Hamza and Landon's reaction. They couldn't believe that. You know what that reminds me of? That reminded me when I think it was, was it 2023? Yeah, it was like September of 2023, so almost 3 years ago. We met up at Main Event Entertainment. And I think the first thing you saw on that video was the skee ball. I made like 3 consecutive 10,000s in a row with the camera in my hand. I mean, that's crazy. Isn't that crazy? So yeah, that's what that reminded me of that. Okay. Maybe I should talk about everyone's moments on this big party movie. Okay, let's talk about the party itself. I'm going to try and do it in order. So yeah, countdown video for the first 7.5 minutes. Alright. First song, National Emblem from the Ohio State Marching Band. That's a great marching band. Mainly for college football. The second song that played was Forgotten Country by the Smashing Pumpkins, which is, if you've seen that Smashing Pumpkins poster over there with the Statue of Liberty, it's from that album called Zeitgeist. That's the album. That is the Smashing Pumpkins album that I grew up listening to, and that's why it's my number one favorite Pumpkins album. Even though, unfortunately, a lot of people did not like that album, and that's why the singer Billy Corgan took that album down from streaming services like Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you get your music from. It's not on there, and that's why I was allowed to play those songs during the American Truck Simulator 4th of July stream, because they're technically did not get any copyright claims. But you're probably wondering, how did you get the songs if you couldn't get them on YouTube? Thanks to this iPod right here. Oh, you can see the reflection of one of the pictures of the monkey or the chimpanzee drinking. Yes, this iPod, this used to be my father's, but then one day he didn't need it anymore, so he gave it to me. And it still works. See? It still works. I mean, all it is, it's music. There's like thousands and thousands of songs on here, but none of the songs are new. I think the newest song on here was what? I don't know, 2015 probably. So like 10 years ago was probably the newest songs on here. But I mean, I like old music anyways. So thankfully, I was able to get those songs from that album because I really like that album. Next year, that album turns 20 years old. Came out on July 10th, I believe, of 2007. Maybe, who knows? It might get re-released on the streaming apps for the 20th anniversary next year. That would be pretty darn cool. All right. And then after the countdown was the introduction itself, which I was able to, excuse me, sorry guys, all right. The introduction, which is what I released a couple weeks ago, the introduction video, and the reason why I released that in the first place was because I didn't know what else to release that night. So, yeah, because I remember I released it at like 10 o'clock at night. So, but I thought it was a really good intro. It's about, what is it? How long was the intro? Over 5 minutes. And it was playing the Grateful Dead song. And yes, I added a lot of Grateful Dead music because I really like that band, and that is, to me, that's probably one of the greatest American bands of all time. And yep, I'm wearing my shirt. Yep, and also there's something else I want to say about the Grateful Dead later in this episode. All right. So, and then after that, you got to hear. This time I added the voiceover. Ladies and gentlemen, the movie you're about to see is finally here. Yeah, I added that. I added my voice, like a narrator or like an announcer. I didn't do that when I released that introduction movie exclusively. So that was something different. Me adding my voice. I thought I did pretty good with the announcement. And then you got to see the people that was in the movie, and I thought that was kind of cool. The 12 people in it, and a special appearance from Bucky. Yeah. So, and after that, was the what was it? The New World Order, I believe. The clip of the New World Order from WCW. The New World Order is those 3 letters over there by the Smashing Pumpkins poster. That was a professional wrestling faction that started 30 years ago. Because I'm a fan of that old pro wrestling stuff, and that's why I did that American Truck Simulator special live stream of the New World Order's 30th anniversary, which I plan on doing another one of those later this year. Alright, so I added that. Then you saw the clip of Cops, the TV show, the Cops, Bad Boys, What You Gonna Do When They Come For You, with the title card. I added that because I thought that was badass with the music playing, and you see the police lights, blue and red lights, and the Cops logo, because that show goes way back. I mean, hey, this is America. You got to have good policing in America now, And then those clips of the buildings. That is actually, if you're wondering what that's from, that was from Monday Night Raw, WWE Monday Night Raw, the old introduction from 2006 to 2009. That intro where they show the buildings at the very beginning, I thought that was really cool. And it's mainly New York City. I mean, New York City is one of the oldest cities in America, so there you go. It kind of fits in, And then after that, the introduction ended. The first thing after that was the Star Spangled Banner. Me standing behind that flag up there. I made it like it's a sporting event or something like that. All right. And then you got to see the fidget spinner. Because I remember I found that fidget spinner in my bedroom. I've had that fidget spinner since, 2017, I think? Because 2017 was the year of fidget spinners. Remember? The fidget spinners became so viral in 2017, so I eventually got one myself. I believe I got that fidget spinner, I want to say in Houston, at the Houston Zoo or the Houston Aquarium gift shop. Yeah. Somehow I was able to get that, and it was an American flag on it. I thought that was really cool, so I did a clip of me spinning it. And then it fades out into a black screen, and then this is the good stuff. The fun stuff for me is the Grateful Dead Fare Thee Well concert from July 4th, 2015. Okay, this was during the Grateful Dead's 50th anniversary, because they started in 1965. Yeah, I mean, let me show you real quick. So, yeah, I got this last year for their 60th anniversary. How cool is that? Yeah, so that's that. All right. And I purposely chose to watch that concert. It's on YouTube, by the way. I watched that for the 4th of July because it happened on the 4th of July in 2015, and it was in Chicago, Soldier Field, home of the Chicago Bears at Old Stadium. And this was one of their last ever concerts. Yeah. It was basically them, the Grateful Dead members, reuniting and, celebrating their 50th anniversary in 2015. So, I enjoyed it. I thought it was really, really good. So I added some of their songs from that concert. Not all of them, because that would be, this would probably be like a 12-hour video if I did that. So, I added their big time songs basically. So you got to see the intro. Now with the music playing, the song was called "The Golden Road." I did that myself. I added that song while you get to see the fans in the stadium waiting for the concert to start. I did that part by adding that song, "The Golden Road." If you remember that song, I played that song at the beginning of the Classic Super Sluggers championship game. The first thing was that song that you heard. Yeah, that's that same song, all right? And then after that, I played one of their drum solo soundtracks from a concert from Hartford, Connecticut, from May 28, 1977. So yeah, I listed the names of these songs in the description. If any big-time rock and roll fans, old school rock and roll fans out there that want to know the names of these songs, it's in the description. And after that, it played the New World Order video package with that famous music. And then finally, at the 22-minute mark, the beginning of the party. With American Truck Simulator and Old Truck Simulator soundtracks playing in the background on that stereo behind me. Yeah, play that for about an hour straight on shuffle mode. All right. You got to see two webcams. This webcam on my computer, and then the other one was the laptop, which was facing on top of the printer right next to the freezer. Mainly you would see that version, but for once I added two webcams in the same room because I wanted this to be a giant video. I didn't thought it would be 9.5 hours though, I'll tell you that. So yeah, you got to see, hey, the beginning of the party is usually the party room itself because, we're kind of just chilling in there waiting for more people to show up and just say hello and talk before the action began. And I'd say the first action was playing billiards. But before that, I played the first concert song from the Fare Thee Well Grateful Dead show, Shakedown Street. That was their first song that they played. It's a really, really good one. And you got to hear that same song later in the party during the ice cream and popsicles. Yeah, that was that song, Shakedown Street. All right. And then a lot of these Grateful Dead songs, these live songs, are pretty long. That's what they're well known for. It's a jam band, all right? They go on these long, guitar solo, drum solo, and they're great at that. That's what they're well known for. Their live albums, there's so many of them. It's kind of crazy. So after that, playing billiards. 2 games. Monsieur Leclerc. First time ever. Monsieur Leclerc. My former French teacher. The guy that I drove all the way near Lafayette, because he lives near there, to watch the World Cup final. That guy. That this was his first time playing billiards on the pool table. First game he played against Hamza. While I was setting more things up. Spoiler alert, if you want to know who won, go ahead and watch that. Hamza won. I thought Monsieur Leclerc would win, but because I think he plays pool sometimes. But Hamza won. And then I played against Monsieur Leclerc, and I also won. So Monsieur Leclerc 0 for 2. And then after that, we got some food. Let's see. Oh, that guy Nathan, the guy that I was talking to before a lot of people showed up. I mean, he was like the first one that came. I played pool with him last year. Last year's summer party. All right. That guy wearing the hat and the fancy Hawaiian blue shirt. Yeah, that guy. And then another Grateful Dead song was playing. Oh, yeah. During billiards, you got to hear some Grateful Dead music playing in the background on the stereo. They go from one song to another without stopping. All right. And after that, back to the Fare Thee Well concert. They played a song called Liberty. I mean, hey, the word liberty, that fits in with America, you know. And then after that, chilling outside by the swimming pool. Yes, I'm looking at the chapters list. This really helps me out, too. Otherwise, I might have to, what happened after this? 9.5 hours. Jeez, it's hard to remember a bunch. So after that, chilling outside by the swimming pool, this was when Miss Leclerc himself got in the pool for the first time ever. Yeah, because he missed last year's summer party, and he missed the year before's Summer Olympics party. So finally, he was able to come for the swimming party. So he got in. Mason was already in it. I think some of my mom's friends were in there. Not many were in there yet, because this was at almost 6 p.m., just like 2 hours into the party. Some people came late, like Micah. She came like an hour later. Some people come late, you know. So, but my close friends, most of them came on time. Landon and Logan, they came kind of late, but they didn't really miss out much. And then, I was eating outside with my friends. You got to see Hamza and I setting up the bubble machine. That was something new, the bubble machine. And Brad, throughout the big party, Brad was doing this face. If you want to know, if you've been watching my videos for years, whenever you see Brad, he would do that face on camera. If you're wondering why he does that face a lot, I think I told you this before, but I might have to explain it in a better way. So in 2020, the COVID year, during that school year, I was able to see the seniors' photos. And this one student, his name is Tay. I think it's spelled T-A-E, Tay. I don't know if it's a short version of his full name, but apparently his senior photo was this. It's so funny. Like, bro. Actually, I think I can pull it up on my phone. So while I talk, let me pull it up on my phone. But you know how when you take a senior photo, you have to dress up wearing a suit. And this was back when I had my long hair. Oh yeah, this is him. This is him. I don't know this guy. I think Brad knows him more than me, but dude, Look at his face. Dude. I know it's hard to focus, but I mean, let me zoom in on his face, bro. Dang! Dang! Yo, look at that face. Like, why isn't he smiling? I mean, and the way he tilted his head. Like, what the heck? Like, bro, that is so funny. That is so fun. And then, like, there's more. I mean, look at this. Nice suit, nice bow tie. What the heck is he doing with his hands? He did this. Let me try and do it for real. Ready? Wait, is it like... Yeah, okay. Yo, that never gets old. So Brad and I, we always make fun of this dude. His senior photo. And then we would start doing it a bunch of times, and lately he's been doing it a lot. Yes, we're approaching 6 years since I found that photo, and he's been doing that since 2021. It never gets old. You know what? I should do a compilation video of him doing that face. That would be funny. That would be fun. That's why if you saw the collage of me and my friends on the thumbnail of the big party movie, Brad's face was doing his face. The Tay's face. Sometimes Landon and Logan do it, but when Brad does it, it's the very best because of his eyeballs. Like, bro, shoot. It's so funny. Oh. Yeah, that never gets old. That never... I mean, what... I mean, like, dude. What the heck? Like... That is so weird. Anyways, so he did that a lot, and he wasn't swimming. He wasn't swimming because he got a new tattoo on his arm. Yeah, he got some more tattoos on his arms. I forgot what those tattoos represent or what they're for, but Brad is my very first friend, close friend, to get tattoos. I think his first tattoo was like 2 years ago, I want to say. Maybe more, I don't know. But he got a new one recently. So he didn't want to swim. Also, he's not really a swimming guy. He's not like Alec, you know. But he was hanging out with us. He was just walking around the pool, just chilling. He had no shirt on. He took off his shirt and he put it on his head. That was funny. And then he kept doing the face throughout the party. And it's funny. He's like, I don't know. He's like the security guard or something like that. So yeah, I eventually got in the pool with Hamza, Landon, and Logan, and Missy LeClaire as well. Let's see here. I'm trying to look back at the chapters. Then you got to see a Grateful Dead video package. This was during the Fare Thee Well concert while it was in an intermission. Yeah, they took an intermission. Actually, no, yeah, they took an intermission. After that, it was playing cornhole with friends. So this was before we actually all got in the pool. We were playing cornhole, and Mr. LeClaire was having his freedom. Actually, everyone was having their freedom at this party, now that I'm thinking about it. So the cornhole, I just got those couple of days before that party at Walmart. Yes, if you're wondering where I got those at Walmart, because you know how Walmart, they have a section for the holidays. Pretty soon they'll have one for Halloween and then Christmas, you know. But for their 4th of July holiday section, I found cornhole. I forgot how much it costs, but it was actually a pretty good deal. I think it was like $40. Because, like, before, I would see, when I see cornhole in stock, it would be like over $60 or $70. But this one's like 40 or 45, and I'm like, I'm gonna get this. And it has USA flags on the boards, so I'm like, wow, that fits in. So I got that. And I even did a video of me playing some cornhole in this room. And every Friday, me and my parents would play cornhole and billiards. So maybe actually, I think I did record. I think I did record that, but I didn't release it yet. So an unreleased video of that. All right. So it's kind of our tradition. Every Friday, after I come home, we would play those. But that was like our first time actually playing cornhole. And then I remember my moment with the camera in my hand. I shot one of the bing bags upwards like it's a basketball, and then boom, it went through the hole on camera while I was holding the camera. How cool was that? Yeah. Let's see what else. And then my mom's friends were kind of dancing in the background. And then back to the Fare Thee Well concert. The Grateful Dead played a song called Deal. Alright. And then after that, we finally got into the swimming pool. And remember, I forgot to mention this earlier, but usually at these big parties, I would put the time of the video clips that were recorded so that you know. Okay, we got in the pool. I think it was at I don't know, like almost 7 p.m. or something like that. And then, the sun was going down and it started to get darker and darker. So yeah, this was with the GoPro. I used the GoPro, just chilling in there, just me chilling with my friends, and others were in there. Mason was in it. Mason, his older sister Jade, were in the pool. Caden and Sherwin were in there. They were having a battle. Caden and Sherwin were having like a water gun battle. That got pretty intense. I don't know whose idea that was, but they were kind of putting on a show, so that was kind of funny. And then, so earlier, Micah was in the pool, but for only 10 minutes, not very long. You got to see her. She was in the pool with a hat on her head, and I thought that was kind of trippy looking. And I noticed, I'm like, wait, where is Micah? Why isn't she in the pool? I also noticed Christina was also not in the pool. She's the girl with the big pink shirt that says Pensacola Beach on it. I'm surprised she didn't get in at all. So they were just chilling in the dining room and that little mini room, the little mini living room, which is near the front door of the house. Okay? Whatever you call that room. The room that you don't see much. The only time you really see that room is really at the parties, because you got to see that room at the Halloween party last year and the Winter Olympics party back in February. All right? So... And then Mr. LeClaire, he had to leave by 8 o'clock because he had to pick up somebody at the airport. And it was still daylight outside. And then after we said goodbye, I gave him his little surprise. I gave away those American flags that says, 250 on it. Different kinds of styles of flags. Let me just say this. Some of the flags, I ordered them, right? Or I ordered all the flags on Amazon. And some of them came, I was able to get all of them, but some of them, they delivered the day of the party. I was like, oh my gosh, that was so close. I was afraid I wasn't going to get them in time. Yeah, I don't know why. This happens quite a bit of times where I order things when it's very late, basically. Like, I should have ordered them like couple of weeks before the party, but no, I don't know why. You know why? I just didn't thought about it. I didn't thought about it at the time. I thought about it like the week of the party or a couple of days before the party. Then I ordered it on Amazon, and if you have Prime, you get them delivered faster. But I was so glad I was able to get them delivered the day of the party. I was like, oh, that was a close one, man. That was a close one. So he was like the first one to say goodbye. So I gave him those flags, so he accepted them. And I was so glad he was able to come for the first time for swimming. And then at the end, we were kind of joking. Ils sont partis. That means, and they're off. Because we met up at horse racing in Evangeline Downs in Opelousas. And the first thing you hear from the track announcer is, Ils sont partis. As soon as the race starts, that's what he says. So that's cool. We like that. And then after he said goodbye, he honked his horn, and I thought that was funny. And then he got to see fireworks from the Fare Thee Well concert, but this was during the intermission. It was a very long intermission, because remember, this was on the 4th of July. Gotta make that change there. And I added some Grateful Dead music. The one's called Dark Star, because it was dark outside, so I'm like, okay, let's play Dark Star. Let me say this, Dark Star is a pretty short studio song, but when it's a live song, it's much longer. It's insane. It's pretty crazy. And then after that, I played another drum solo soundtrack. This one was live at the Oakland Coliseum in Oakland, California, from October 9, 1976. And I have a playlist. I have Amazon Music. I have a playlist of all my favorite artists and certain songs and stuff. This one I added to my playlist. Some of their live, or quite a bit of their live songs from the Oakland Coliseum from October of 1976. I plan on playing those songs in October of this year for an American Truck Simulator episode, because it'll be 50 years later since that concert took place. Alright? And then after that, I wanted to know what happened to Micah. You know, Micah is the girl with the glasses. She kind of looks like my long-lost sister. And Mason, who also wears glasses. He looks like he's my long-lost brother. We all kind of look alike. So she was in the room that you don't see much, right? The little mini room, living room, whatever you call it, next to the dining room. She was on her tablet, and I'm like, okay, well, what are you up to? Why aren't you joining the party? Why aren't you in the pool? Why are you in here by yourself, you know? So, I mean, I like to make fun of her because, I don't know, she's like a character. The way she talks, she makes like funny faces like a cartoon character would. She looks like she can be in a cartoon. The Micah Show. She likes taking my Sunny D. And I bought Sunny D at the party, but it wasn't in the bottles. It was in the jugs where you have to pour them in the cup. So I got those kinds of Sunny D's instead of the regular bottles. So she was doing whatever on her tablet, and then she played some Roblox. Because I mentioned, hey, I beat you in Murder Mystery 2. She didn't like to hear that, so then she was in the mood, I guess, to play Murder Mystery 2 on Roblox. And then I would go back and forth between the digital camera clips, GoPro clips, and the big party room itself. Kind of back and forth, you know. And then eventually back at the swimming pool. I did not get back into the pool. I was hanging out with Brad, but we were outside by the pool while quite a bit of the friends were jumping in. You got to see Hamza jumping in, Landon jumping in. He did the front flip, and whenever Landon jumps in the pool, it's always a big splash because he's the heaviest. And then you got to see Caden and Sherwin and Mason doing jumps and flips into the pool, so that was exciting. And then Caden, he's the one with the orange shirt. He did like a high jump. That was kind of fire, the way he did that. The big jumping boy. By the way, his birthday's coming up, I believe, in about a week. A little over a week. I think it's August the 20th. He'll be turning 15. And yes, school started. He's now in 10th grade. Micah's in 8th grade. Jade's in 11th grade. Mason's in 6th grade. I think Christina's also in the same grade level as Jade, but they're not in the same school. I think they're the same age. Yeah, Christina, I remember I asked her, how old are you? And she said she's 16. Yeah, Jade is also 16. She turned 17 in about 2 months. Alright. And then here's something random. I brought out Bucky, the big beaver plush that I got at the Buc-ee's back in the spring, on my way towards Houston for the first time. You got to see Bucky in the video finally, because I said, and a special appearance from Bucky. Bucky met Micah. Yeah. So that was a interesting conversation for about 10 minutes or so. I did that voice. I did the Buc-ee's voice.
Have you been to a Buc-ee's before? I heard that Eric exposed you. Feet exposed.
It was just something random. I thought that was funny. I'm sure you found that funny too, T-Bone. Let me know your thoughts. I don't know. I was trying to make Micah get off the tablet, because if you're not going to have fun at the party, why are you here? With all due respect, it's great to see you, but you're just on your tablet. Can you get off your tablet and can we have some fun for a change, So then eventually she got off of the tablet. I brought out Big Monkey, Gorilla. Yeah, Bucky, Big Monkey, and Gorilla. 3/4 of that plush wrestling freedom match. Remember, I did that. That was crazy. And Big Bear, Papa Bear, whatever you call that giant brown bear that also interfered that freedom match. You know what I'm talking about. And then Micah finally got off her tablet, and then it's funny. Micah says that you're harassing me. Well, yeah, I guess I did. I guess I had to get revenge on her, because remember, back in January, that vlog called Big Sunday Fun Day Vlog, I think that's what it's called, she was harassing me at my car. Remember that? When I rolled down the window? She wanted to have her moment. Okay. And then my friends, got out of the pool, and they came back into the house. And then, I guess Micah was putting on a show with the giant stuffed animals. And then the popsicles and ice cream. Yes, I bought the popsicles and ice cream. Oh, no, I think my mom bought the popsicles and I bought the ice cream. I forgot to tell them much sooner that, hey, we have popsicles and ice cream. Thankfully, I think Micah mentioned popsicles or ice cream, and then I remember, oh, yeah, I do have some in the freezer for this party. And then that's when you heard the Shakedown Street Grateful Dead song playing on the stereo. And then, it's funny. The ice cream box was on Micah's head. I thought that was kind of funny. That was kind of silly. And then I wanted to show her a game, and you probably know what game it was. It was American Truck Simulator. I never got to show her that game before. Unfortunately, we were unable to play it because the game crashed, and it was because I forgot. 5Tayer, if you're listening, I forgot to delete a bunch of scenes on OBS, because I remember you said that's probably the reason why the game kept crashing, because you have a ton of scenes on OBS. So yeah, we did not have much time to play the game anyways. So instead, they played hide and seek. Freedom hide and seek. Before I get to that, played another Fare Thee Well Grateful Dead concert. The Golden Road. The live version of The Golden Road. Yeah. That's a very rare song that they played live on concert. I don't know why, but because that song was from 1967. And I thought it was a really, really good live version of The Golden Road. And I remember I played that song as well, that live version, during the Classic Super Sluggers Championship game. Not just the studio version, the live version as well from that concert, but it was just one guy. You just got to see that one guy, that one guitar player the entire time. His name is Trey Anastasio. He's from a band. He's the lead singer of the band called Phish, Phish, which is also another jam band. They're active. That is an active band. That is a channel on Sirius XM. I think I remember I showed you that. Yeah, I showed you some of that during the video of me getting some Southern Classic chicken. That video, because I was listening to some of that station. They were playing live at Madison Square Garden at the time. So, and I thought it was really, really good. So that's another band that I might get into. So, after that, you got to see two guys playing billiards, Nathan, and the other guy is actually Eiley's father, even though Eiley wasn't there. So they were playing finally. And then after that, Freedom hide and seek. Yes, hide and seek with Sherwin, Caden, Micah, and Christina. I was basically the camera guy. I wasn't really hiding, and I wasn't really seeking. Well, I was with the seeker. Sure, I was with Sherwin, and then I was with Christina. And then, you got to see another New World Order video, and then more Freedom hide and seek. We were having trouble finding anyone. And Caden, you got to see where he was hiding at. He was hiding underneath the counter, which has the microwave. I'm surprised he was able to fit underneath there, and I was surprised he was able to stay underneath there for a while. And that's why you heard me. How are you able to stay underneath there for that long? That was crazy. And then remember, while Sherwin was the seeker, he got underneath the dining room table. I'm like, bro, you are crazy. Typical teenager would do that. Yep. You saw he was wearing some NASCAR-looking Crocs. That was so funny looking. Yeah, because he's into race cars, so that's cool. And then, while the Freedom hide and seek was going on, my other friends, Landon, Logan, Brad, and Hamza, were playing Uno. And then after that, they said goodbye. And then another Fare Thee Well concert song played called One More Saturday Night. I mean, that fits in. That's one of their well-known songs. The party took place on a Saturday night. The 4th of July was on a Saturday night. And the premiere was on a Saturday night. So there you go. I had to play that song. And then after that, Micah wanted to play some Uno. So she, Caden, Sherwin, and Christina were all playing Uno in the dining room table. And then after that, it was time to say goodbye to everyone else. This was at almost 11 p.m. And then the last ones to leave were Nathan and Eiley's father. And then after that, the road trip clips. Yeah, it was like a video package of the road trip clips of, the highways, trips of me going to Houston, the road trip clips, and I added music in the background. I added the grand old flag / Stars and Stripes Forever from the Ohio State Marching Band. Then you got to hear some more march. The King Kong March. This is from the 1933 film. And then I play another King Kong soundtrack, the 1976 film called Kong Hits the Big Apple, which is New York City. Then you got to hear called Going Down the Road Feeling Bad, live at Bickershaw Festival from May 7th, 1972, from the Grateful Dead. That is a really good song. And whenever a Grateful Dead song is playing, I would put that their logo, the Grateful Dead logo with the Uncle Sam hat, the red, white, and blue, just like I did for the American Truck Simulator Grateful Dead specials, because it fits in. And then, so yeah, that was about, we're talking like 20 minutes or so of road trip clips. After that, you got to hear a song called Hey You. It's a Pink Floyd song. Pink Floyd is a great band from the 70s, English band. So it was from an album called Pulse, the 1994 version, concert, bootlegs. And then at the end of the song, you got to hear Together We Stand, Divided We Fall. And I thought that was perfectly, that perfectly fits in with the clips that you saw hearing that song. And then you got to see some more fireworks. Because, I know this was over a month after the 4th of July. But hey, on the 4th of July, you celebrate America's birthday and by shooting fireworks. So I played Ace Armani's 456's fireworks celebration show video. And that was recorded in 2024, I believe. So 2 years ago. And he didn't know about it. I did not tell him, hey, I'm going to show your video while I play music in the background. I didn't tell him that because I wanted it to be a surprise. And even if he found out about it, he wasn't going to be, he's not going to get upset like, hey, why are you using my video without my permission? He's not that kind of person, so, but he was at a fireworks show. I think he does that every year. He goes out, I don't know where it is exactly. I think it's at a giant field or a park or somewhere. And it was one heck of a fireworks show. He was recording it for like 13 minutes straight from his cell phone. Really good quality. I think he has an iPhone. That's why it's really good quality. iPhones are well known for their camera. I've never had an iPhone. I don't need an iPhone because I'm not a phone guy very much because I have my own camera anyways, but it's really good quality, really good sound. You got he was recording upwards, the sky, I don't know if he was standing up or I think he was sitting down on the ground while he was recording the fireworks. And in the background, I added the music, Smashing Pumpkins music from the Zeitgeist album, Stars with a Z at the end, and United States. That was really badass. You got to hear those songs while the fireworks were playing. So that was cool. And it fit in well. Like, both songs together is about 12 and a half to 13 minutes, and then it fits in. After that, his fireworks show video was over. Wow, it perfectly fits in. The timing, it fits in. And then after that, we go back to another Pink Floyd song called Wish You Were Here. Okay? This was the one live at Nebworth 1990. Okay? I played some more USA moments, such as, the World Baseball Classic game that I attended back in March, where you got to see a home run caught on camera. And then I showed pictures of the people that didn't come, okay? And then at the top it says "Wish You Were Here," which was the name of the that Pink Floyd song. That's why I wanted to play that song while showing those pictures. So the people that didn't come, of course, Eiley, number one, the Christmas child. It would have been great to have her at this party. I find it a little weird that her father would come without her. Listen, let me just say this. I don't know if I said this before, but I'll say it right now. Because, they don't know my channel. That would be crazy if they do. But Eiley's parents are separated. They're divorced. So sometimes Eiley's with her mom, sometimes Eiley's with her dad, sometimes Eiley's with her grandmother. And where was she that night? She was actually with her grandmother. Okay? I don't know if their houses are all close to each other, or if it's like a travel distance. I don't know. That's not really my business. But it would have been great if she was there. And also, she's like the only child that, because, a lot of my mom's friends are Filipino. I'm half Filipino. Pretty much all my mom's friends' children are half Filipino. But Eiley is like the one kid that isn't half Filipino. So, yeah, it would have been awesome if she was there. And if she was there, we probably would destroy another laptop. Yes, I have another laptop. It's actually, my father's old laptop that doesn't work anymore. It's actually much heavier and older than my old laptop, the one that got destroyed last year. I would like to destroy that with the children, but we can't do it without Eiley. We have to have her there because she was part of the keyboard destruction from December of 2023. Gosh, before you know it, that'll be 3 years ago. She was involved in that along with Mason and Caden, and you notice how much smaller they were back then. It's insane, But it would have been great if she was there, of course. I was hoping, but it is what it is. And then the next image you saw was Channing. Now, Channing is someone new that I met last year. She is Eiley's friend. She is one of Eiley's friends. Those other girls that came at last year's summer party, they weren't there at this year's party. I forgot their names, but they were there at last year's swimming party along with last year's Halloween party. I think one of their names is Thea. I don't know how to spell her name, but that's why I didn't add her picture. But it would have been cool if they were there. But last year's summer party, Eiley's friends were there without Eiley. Yeah. But we had a second swimming party in September of last year, and that time Eiley was there. I have to release that before the summer season's over this year, 1 year later. Next image, Cassie and Sophia. they were on vacation. I think I saw a photo of them. They were, I think, in Alabama. But yeah, they were on vacation that year. You know, I think I said this. I think I mentioned this. They have a baby brother. Yeah. Back in the spring, I believe. No, it was in February. Their mother gave birth to a third child. So Cassie and her little sister Sophia, they now have a baby brother. I forgot I actually don't know the baby brother's name. But yeah, I don't think they've ever gone swimming at this pool, at our pool before. But remember, back in March, back in the spring, I was at someone's party that had a swimming pool, and they were swimming in it. The water was cold because it was the beginning of spring season, even though it was like 80+ degree weather. And Cassie was using my GoPro. That video, I believe, has over 500 views. The swimming party with Cassie video, somehow that video has hundreds and hundreds of views. Let me check right now. How many views does it have? 717 views. 7 likes. But not many comments. Isn't that weird? And this is not a short. Usually shorts would get hundreds of views, not regular videos. This video was over an hour. A video that long that got that many views? That's kind of crazy. That might be the vlog of the year. Congrats, Cassie. You might be the MVP of the year. Okay, so where was I? It would have been interesting if Cassie and Sophia were there in the swimming pool, because they're more of the naughty kids, the naughty girls, unlike Eiley and Channing. I mean, they're older than them, but they're more nice, they're more chill. And then my 2 longtime old friends, Toby and Alec. Yeah, I wish they were there. That would have been cool. But I just saw them a couple of weeks before this party took place. Alec doesn't live in South Louisiana anymore. He's kind of moving on with his life. And Toby, same thing. He's also moving on with his life. I mean, he still lives in South Louisiana, just like an hour away from me. And he doesn't have his own car. So that's why I actually did not invite him. I did not invite Toby to this party because I just saw him. Maybe I will for the next one. I think I will because I remember him saying, let me know if you're having a big thing coming up in advance. So, yeah. By the way, his birthday was a week ago, and Mason. Toby and Mason's birthday are on August the 4th. All right. So it would have been awesome if all those people that I mentioned were there. That would have been the most epic party ever if they were all there. So, the last time Toby was at the swimming party... Oh, yeah, no. The last time Alec and Toby were at a swimming party was in 2022. 4 years ago. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Yeah, because, they love swimming. Toby used to be a lifeguard. He actually used to work as a lifeguard. And Alec, obviously he loves swimming. He wants me to do a compilation video of him jumping in the pool. I mean, that would be funny, right? If I really do that. So, yeah, I wanted to play those. And then the party MVP revealed. It was Missy LeClaire. It was kind of obvious. He was the party MVP. The party MVP is someone who is the biggest star of the party movie. For example, last year's Christmas party, Eiley was the party MVP. Missy LeClaire was also the MVP at last year's Halloween party, even though he didn't stay very long. But he was putting on a show, and he was also putting on a show at this year's summer party. I just knew. As soon as he walked in, he was all dressed up. He was supposed to go to a funeral, but he was wearing he looked like he was wearing Frank Sinatra's hat. You know, Frank Sinatra, one of the greatest singers of all time. You know, you've heard that New York, New York song, I wanna wake up in a city that never sleeps. Yeah, that's the Frank Sinatra song that you would hear, you know, after the New Year's Eve ball drop when the clock hits midnight, Happy New Year. You'll hear the Frank Sinatra New York, New York song. But it looked like Mr. Leclerc was wearing a Frank Sinatra styled hat. It was so funny. And then he was playing pool while dressed up, and then he changed his clothes to put on his swim trunks that had USA on it, American flag swim trunks. I was hoping to get some American flag swim trunks for myself, but I couldn't find one. But I found some blue swim trunks at Academy Sports that had like little USA flags on them. And Mr. Leclerc, he had an American flag towel with all the names of the states listed. All 50 states were listed. How cool was that? Yeah. All right. And I had my American beach towel that says "Party Like It's 1776" with Uncle Sam on it. That was really cool, right? I actually got that at Walmart from last year, and it was on sale. I think it was after the summer season, that's why. Yeah, that's what Walmart does. Like, after the holidays are over, they'll have a sale. Like, after Halloween's over, their leftover Halloween stuff will be up for sale. And especially, the biggest sale is the Christmas sale. The day after Christmas, December 26th, is a huge sale at Walmart. I remember my mom, she went to Walmart last year in the morning, early morning on December 26th for their Christmas leftover sale. All right. Oh boy, we're almost done, folks, talking about this big, giant movie. And after the party MVP revealed, yeah, you got to hear Mr. Leclerc's voice. Yes, because I'm friends with them on Facebook. A lot of times we do voice messaging, and it's always fun to do that. And I find it funny to hear his voice. His voice is funny, the way he talks, because, you know, he's not originally from America. He's originally from Brussels, Belgium. And he gave me a surprise. Actually, I recorded what that surprise was. I'll have to release that sometime next week. All right. But yeah, I sent him that photo of him being the party MVP, and he loved it. I knew he would. So that was awesome. That got me hyped up. We'll see if he'll be the MVP again at the Halloween party, because he's already looking forward. He is already looking forward to the Halloween party. And then, do I have a drink of water? Oh, gotta stay hydrated. If you're still here with me, thank you very much. And then, almost done, we went back one last time to the Fare Thee Well Grateful Dead July 4th, 2015 concert. The last song they played, U.S. Blues. Red and white, blue suede shoes. You know, I just knew. That had to be the last song at the concert, because it took place on the 4th of July. You know? And Jerry Garcia, you know, he would sing that song, and that time it was Bob Weir, okay? I mean, hey, rest in peace to both of those guys. They're now both in heaven, jamming out with other Grateful Dead members like Phil Lesh. Yeah, I got to know a lot about that band over the past year, because last year it was their 60th anniversary. and I have Sirius XM, and man, once I start playing that Grateful Dead channel, I became a big fan. Even though this band was around years way before I was born, you know. I mean, hey, I also like the Beatles channel. The Beatles were around only in the 1960s. And I like the Beatles channel. It's really good, you know. So, after US Blues, fireworks at the concert at the Stadium Soldier Field in Chicago, Illinois. Yeah, and you got to see the Empire State Building during the US Blues song. The Empire State Building in New York City, well-known building. It was lit up in red, white, and blue, Grateful Dead USA colors, so that was awesome. I need to talk more about that a little bit later. And then, after the fireworks, the party aftermath. Yes, me recording a clip of the party aftermath at 1:30 a.m. It wasn't very long because I wanted to talk more about the party itself on Eric's Top News. But that's what I do, record a clip of the party aftermath. And then after that, you got to hear another Grateful Dead song, one more Grateful Dead song called Ripple. But this was after the Fare Thee Well July 4th, 2015 concert. That was the last thing that they showed. It was you got to see multiple people singing and playing that song. It was really cool. That is a really good song, like acoustic guitar song called Ripple. And at the end, you'll hear da 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 da. Da, 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 da. Dude, that is so cool. That is so good, you know? Yeah. I know a lot of Grateful Dead songs now. I can name you 20 Grateful Dead songs from the top of my head. Maybe I'll do that on a short. I did that. I did a challenge. One time I tried to name 15 Grateful Dead songs in 20 seconds. I might do that on short. Yeah, quiz me. Quiz me. I mean, I know US Blues, it start off by ba-bum, ba-bum, bum, bum, ba-bum, bum, bum. You know, that's how that song starts, you know? And now it became a thing. American Truck Simulator Grateful Dead specials have become a thing. And then, of course, the last thing you saw was the Image slideshow. I had to do it. I had to do an Image slideshow in order, and that took a lot of time. That was actually the first thing that I wanted to work on in this giant movie, was the Image slideshow. And you notice how the images were going at a fast pace. Normally, Image slideshows that I've shown before were not going at a fast pace. That's because there were... You want to know how many? How many images there were shown? I don't know if any of y'all counted how many images were shown. I know. Because I did it on OBS would say how many images were on it. The Image slideshow. 300. 300. 300. This is like cheers to 300 years of America. Because this was 250. 2026. 50 years later will be 2076. I mean, if I'm going to be alive in 2076, I'll be 75 years old. I'll be an old man. Can you imagine? Me and my friends and my mom's friends' children, we're all going to be around 50 years from now celebrating the 300th birthday of America. Holy crap. Hey, Cassie and Sophia's little baby brother, that baby's going to be 50 years old in 2076. Think about that. I mean, yeah, you were a baby boy in 2026 during the 250th celebration. Now you're 50, you know? So, unbelievable. It's crazy. Yeah, that's why I wanted to do it at a fast pace. But I will release a video exclusively of that image slideshow at the slower pace, the regular pace, which is like every 7 seconds the image would change. This one's every 2 or 3 seconds. And the song that was playing, it was just one song, which lasted over 16 minutes. No, wasn't a Grateful Dead song. This was a song called New York 1963 to America 1968 from Eric Burdon and the Animals. It's an old song from I think it's from 1967 or 68, yeah, but it's a really good song. And in the middle of that song, you got to hear something called The Truth of a guy ranting. That's part of the song. That is part of that song. What if I take that part out of the song and add that to my American Truck Simulator soundtracks? It might get copyrighted, maybe, but it's just some guy talking and ranting. It's kind of funny the way he was ranting. If they don't get off of their big fat you-know-what and move, you know, he said that shit, okay? And yeah, it was it was part of the song, all together in a 16.5-minute soundtrack. And it fits in. The whole song was timingly, it fits in the image slideshow. It took a lot of time. This whole project took a shit ton of time. I think it took more time than the 2000 video extravaganza video. I think it did. Because I wanted this to be a giant movie. I wanted this to be, well, no, I know it took a lot out of me. And there you go. Now you guys know why this kept getting delayed week after week, because I had to premiere it on the weekend, not on a weekday. I don't want to do it on a weekday while I'm at work, you know? So, yeah. Crazy. And at the end, you got to see the President of the United States, Donald Trump, saying, "God bless America," and that was it. That was the end. Wow. Wow. What a video. What a party. Just amazing. Maybe next year, I'll rewatch this. Maybe I'll live stream myself watching this next year. Next year's 4th of July. Or I don't know, maybe not on the 4th of July, because I usually do an American Truck Simulator stream, but maybe the day before or the day after. Well, it might as well be, it has to be the day before. Because next year, 4th of July is going to be on a Sunday. So I can do it on July 3rd, Saturday, if I do it. If I do a live stream of me watching it. Now, I'm not going to watch the whole thing. I'll skim through it. But it might still be a big stream, that's for sure. Speaking of that, I plan on doing a live stream of me watching the entire 2000th video extravaganza right before I hit 3,000 videos. I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna watch the whole thing, because there was only one copyright claim in that 2000 video extravaganza. If you're wondering what that copyright claim was, it was a Katy Perry song while we were at McDonald's. Me and my friends, remember? We were at McDonald's. There was a Katy Perry song playing in the background, and YouTube noticed it when they were checking for copyright. So, yeah. But this America 250 party movie, I can't watch the whole thing live because of the copyright music. It's not a good idea to live stream copyright music, but that's okay. I'll skim through it if I decided to do a live stream of me watching it next year. But I will definitely do a live stream of me watching the entire 10-hour plus video of the 2000 video extravaganza, because there was only one copyright claim. And I'm going to do it right before I hit 3,000. So maybe it'll be the 2,998th video or the 2,999th video when I do that stream. Has to be on a weekend though. When I do that stream, might as well be on Saturday. Wow. Okay. So here we are, an hour and a half. This video, this podcast of me finally talking about the Big Party movie. Now, I want to talk about. I mentioned that this video was over 9.5 hours. 9 hours, 36 minutes, and 26 seconds to be exact. Well, originally it was going to be about 9 hours and 53 minutes. So there was like a good 16.5 minutes that was trimmed out. Why was that trimmed out? Let me explain. So, I re-recorded this. I re-recorded this giant video. Originally, the video file, let me find it. The original video file, before I made all the cuts and the length, it was, let me find it because I know for sure I didn't delete it. It was, I found it, 72.5 gigabytes, 11 hours, 24 minutes, and 23 seconds. So I cut off like a good hour and a half. Because hour and a half minus hour and a half, 9 hours and 53 or so minutes. The video took about 16 hours to upload. I'm not kidding you. That long. It took that long. Because I can't make the cuts until it's done uploading and processing and checking for copyright. So I finally made all those cuts, which was about 75 of them total. And then after it made the cuts, it had to check for copyright again. I don't know why, because well, no, I get why, because I made all those cuts. So I had to re-record that. Basically, I screen recorded that entire 11-hour plus video while I was sleeping. I used OBS to re-record it, and the media that I was using to play the video on was on VLC Media Player. VLC Media Player, it's the logo with the traffic cone, okay? I was using that for OBS to re-record it on, if that makes any sense, or screen record it. And the reason why that 16.5 minute was missing, well, there was a part for 16 minutes, the audio was glitching like crazy. Because it was during the VLC Media Player. I don't know why that happened, but it screen recorded that audio glitching. And unfortunately, that happened, and I had to cut that part out because I didn't want to add glitchy audio, you know? That's not going to make it fun. And it was actually during one of the Grateful Dead's Fare Thee Well concert. I added another one. It was during one of those. So I had no choice but to cut that part out. The audio was glitchy for 16.5 minutes straight on VLC Media Player. I'm so glad it wasn't glitchy for 5 hours straight. That would have sucked. And that would have been a huge fail, you know, if that were to happen. So I had to cut that part out. I had to cut 16.5 minutes out because of its glitchy audio on VLC Media Player. But luckily, I'm able to play those clips again, not in glitchy audio. So basically, what I'm planning to do is, remember after the 2000 video extravaganza, I did a video called Best Moments of that 2000 video. Well, I'm going to do the best moments from the Summer Party America 250 video, including the missing 16 and a half minutes that I had to cut out due to the glitchy audio. So you're going to see a little bonus, some missing footage in the best moments video of the Summer Party America 250 video. When will that be? It might be this weekend. I haven't worked on it yet, but it might be this weekend. And also, I'm planning on, I mentioned this before, I'm planning on uploading an image slideshow video of that party itself. All 300 images playing at the normal 7 to 8 second pace of the images going by. And I must say, it's about 40 minutes total, that image slideshow video, meaning I'm going to premiere it. I'm going to premiere an image slideshow video because it's about 40 minutes long. So I'll premiere that. You get to watch the images go by at a slower pace, or the regular pace. And, yeah. All right. So those are some future projects that I'm going to be releasing, probably this weekend, maybe. If not, then I guess it'll be sometime next week. So there you go. I hope I explained it the best I can. I don't know if any of y'all are still listening to all of this. If you are, wow, thank you so much. Please, I would like to know your thoughts on that big party movie itself. Your favorite parts. Maybe, yeah, I think I might do some polls based on that giant video, just like I did for the 2000 video extravaganza. So, yeah. So I mentioned my moment was me making the cornhole shot with the camera in my hand. What was Brad's moment? Him doing the faces, and he kept doing the 6-7 stuff. Hamza's moment, what was his moment? I think he made a pretty cool pool shot when he played against Missy LeClaire. Landon's moment, I guess it was him. He was on 2 of the tubes, the inflatable floats, with the donut shaped ones. He was on 2 of them. He was doing like he was spinning around on them. That was kind of funny. What was Logan's moment? I'm not sure if he had any big moments. I don't know. I can't really think. Miss LeClaire, he had quite a bit of moments. Him putting on a show, basically. That's why he's the MVP. Mason and Jay, they didn't really have any big time moments, but they were chilling with us in the pool. Caden and Sherwin, they were going at it at the with the water guns in the pool. Like, oh my gosh, they could not stop. I could have sworn they were doing that for like an hour straight, non-stop. Jeez. It's kind of like the Grateful Dead. They would play an hour straight without stopping at the concerts. Okay, and then Micah, her moment was with the Bucky, I guess, and the giant stuffed animals and the ice cream and popsicles. Christina, her moment was during the Freedom Hide and Seek. So yeah, everyone had their freedom. I wonder what would have happened. What if Eiley was there? What if Channing was there? What if Cassie and Sophia were there? What if Toby and Alec were there? What would have happened? Well, it would have been epic, that's for sure. It would have been epic, for sure. But yeah, well, another thing I want to talk about. So I mentioned I was going to premiere this on August the 1st. but it got globally blocked again. And then, as soon as when I saw it said partially blocked, I premiered it. But it was still globally blocked because I sent it to T-Bone. I remember T-Bone, if you're listening, I sent the link to the video of the Big Party movie from August 1st, but it says it was blocked for you. I found out the real reason why it was blocked for USA viewers, even though it said partially blocked. Remember I mentioned those Pink Floyd songs, the Hey You and Wish You Were Here? So originally I played the Pulse live album of those songs, okay? There was a Pink Floyd live album called Pulse, which is really, really good. I think that's like one of the best live albums I have ever heard from start to finish, okay? It's really good. There is even a concert video of that. I might watch that pretty soon. So I added those songs, Hey You and Wish You Were Here, based from that Pulse live album, okay? And those are the reasons that those songs are the reason why the video got partially blocked, but blocked for USA viewers. It's because I added those songs. I finally found out the real reason. And yes, I know a lot of these songs are copyrighted. I wanted to add them. I wanted this to be one hell of a show. I wanted this to be one hell of a party movie. You know, Grateful Dead, I mentioned, that is my favorite old American rock band, and I think it's that band has quite the history. You know, they go way back. You know, they have a logo with the skull wearing the Uncle Sam red, white, and blue hat, and they, you know, played U.S. blues. You know, it fits in. It really fits in, okay? Even though Pink Floyd isn't an American band, it's an English band, and Eric Burdon and the Animals are also from England, but they made a song based on America and freedom. Why not add that song to the image slideshow? Because that fits in. This was based on celebrating America's 250th year/birthday. Even though the 4th of July may be over, it's still 2026. This is still America's 250th year, not just the 4th of July, all right? So that's why I've been doing a lot of Grateful Dead specials lately, you know? And, you know, the word American Truck Simulator and the Grateful Dead, they have a song called Truckin', you know? That fits in. It really does. So there you go, folks. Yeah. What a crazy. Okay. I'm gonna pause the recording and take a little break before I get into the next topic. But I think I finally said all my pieces to this big giant summer party movie. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. All right. So, yeah. All right. Let's get into a few other things I want to talk about before we get to On This Date. This might be over a 2-hour video after all. All right, I'm going to talk about a little quick recap on the videos that I released over the past week. So let's get into that real quick. So I mentioned American Truck Simulator, Grateful Dead special. I released 2 of them this past 8 days or so. The Grateful Dead special number 6. This is American Truck Simulator episode 145. It's over 5 hours. Yeah, quite the marathon. This was me listening to something called on Sirius XM, Today in Grateful Dead History during the last week of July. That is a show on Sirius XM where the archivist. His name is David Lemieux. He's really good. He's like the godfather of the Grateful Dead. He just knows everything about this band. That's what he would do. He would be the host of that show, of him going back in time. It's basically going back in time, on this date. It's kind of like On This Date, concert from 52 years ago or something like that. We're going back to 1974, One of them was 1966, which was their second year ever in their history. And you can just tell, it sounded that old, Like if you listen to a 1966 Grateful Dead live album and then you listen to a 1986 live album, you can tell the difference. It's a big difference, but they're both really good in their, their own versions, All right. So yeah. And you notice I don't do face cam whenever I play the radio or podcast or music. Well, I did for the 4th of July, but that was like the only exception. And then I released 2 big videos called A Fun Day with Jade and Mason. This was at the Main Event Entertainment. Yes, we met up 2 days after the 4th of July on Monday, July 7th. And I was going to release those after the Summer Party movie, but it had to be before. I after that Summer Party movie was delayed a week, one last time, from August the 1st to the 8th, I had to come up with a plan B. And plan B was for me to release those main event vlogs for Mason's birthday. Yes, Mason's birthday was on August the 4th. I released these 2 main event entertainment vlogs for Mason's birthday, even though this took place a month earlier, basically, July 6th, and I released them like a month later. Part 1, I wasn't sure if I was going to put them all together or cut them into 2 parts. I decided to do 2 parts. Part 1 was bowling with Jade, Mason, and Sherwin, and me. It was the 4 of us playing. I'm not going to say who won. Well, actually, maybe I should say who won, because I'm kind of spoiling it. But spoiler alert, if you want to know who won that bowling game, please go watch that video. The youngest won, and that is Mason. Somehow Mason won. And then A Fun Day with Jade and Mason Part 2. This was us playing the arcade games. If you're wondering why Sherwin wasn't there, he had to leave early. His mom works super early in the morning at Sam's Club. Alright. So I released those videos, and then the latest video I released was another American Truck Simulator, episode 146, Grateful Dead special number 7. You see the photo, is Jerry Garcia. So SiriusXM, they would have something called Jerry Garcia Week, because he was born on August the 1st, and he passed away on August the 9th, so they're calling it The Days Between, which is also a name of a Grateful Dead song. So yeah, all week was pretty much Jerry Garcia songs and stuff. So I did that. But that was a disaster. The gameplay, the delivery itself was a disaster because I kept crashing due to me dozing off. And I didn't want to record it on Sunday, because this was on Sunday, right, when I premiered this. I didn't want to record it on the same day of me premiering it. I wanted to record it before I went to sleep, but I got sleepy. See, when I started recording, I was fine. I wasn't tired, maybe a little bit, but then as the delivery goes on, I got sleepier and sleepier and sleepier really fast, and that's why I kept crashing. And I don't know, I think maybe the Grateful Dead music makes me sleepy at the same time, because it's really good. So I lost a lot of money due to truck maintenance. So I wanted to make up the money that I lost. So I did another American Truck Simulator Grateful Dead special, and I'm going to release that. I plan on releasing that on Monday, August 17th, about a week later since the last one. All right. And let me just say this. It was a gigantic marathon. You won't believe. You won't believe how long this upcoming episode was. Nothing but Grateful Dead songs playing. I did a Grateful Dead gigantic marathon. It was like me celebrating their 60th anniversary 1 year later. I'm not going to say how long it is because I'm going to premiere it, but you'll find out how long it is after the premiere is over. Just like the Big Summer Party movie. I did say how long it was. It was almost 10 hours. But I wasn't lying. So yeah. For the shorts, I'm releasing. I did release the 2 shorts at Main Event Entertainment. Then I released another short called "Surprise for the Birthday Boy," which was Mason. This was not on the same date as the Main Event vlogs. We actually somehow met up at the mall again on his birthday. That's why he was wearing, you saw his sister Jade was wearing different clothes, but Mason was somehow wearing the same shirt from the July 6th meetup. And then after that, I started releasing a series of shorts called Chillin' at the Mall. As of right now, I released 6 of them. There's 5 more to go. So 11 shorts total of us at the mall. So part 11 will be on Sunday, okay? Yeah, 11 shorts. 11 consecutive days releasing 3-minute shorts at the local mall. These were also recorded on July 6th from the Main Event vlogs. Yeah, we were there like all day. We were at Main Event / the mall for hours. We were there for that long. So, yeah. And we met up at the mall again on August the 4th, which was the Surprise for the Birthday Boy short. Okay? And then the live streams. So I did one more stream of New Super Mario Bros. DS. Wow, this one has a lot of views. Of the mini games. It's only an hour and a half stream because it was just me playing the mini games. I was gonna do that in part 3, but part 3 was a marathon, almost 6.5 hours, which was insane of me getting those stupid star coins. But yeah, I did a 4th and final stream of New Super Mario Bros. On the DS of me attempting to beat some of my high scores, which I thought I did a pretty good job on them. And then I did one for playing Sonic Dash on the tablet, part 5. Now this is interesting, because I've been releasing, like once a week or so, a Sonic Dash video that was recorded on the tablet. This was a live stream. However, the gameplay wasn't live. Okay, me playing Sonic Dash wasn't live, but my commentary was live. So it was, T-Bone, you did say it was kind of like a reaction stream, even though there was no face cam. But on the sides of the video, of the gameplay, you got to see, it was a competition. Sonic Dash competition with 10 characters, and it's whoever got the most points is the winner. It was something that I wanted to do for quite some time, and I thought it worked out well. And because I can't really live stream from the tablet itself. So basically what I did was, I did 10 different clips from each character instead of all into one giant video, because I knew it's going to take up the rest of my tablet storage. So I uploaded these videos on YouTube, and then I would download them from my YouTube studio and add them to the OBS software to live stream. And that's what I did. And that's why I added text on the sides of the gameplay. So I might do that one more time, maybe 2 more times, and then I'll finally start checking out Sonic Dash on the Windows computer. And then I started the other night, I started the live stream series of me celebrating 4,000 subscribers. Part 1 was me playing old Flash/browser games. It was a short stream because I started it late, and I'll tell you why. You probably do know why it started late. So, but yeah, I plan on uploading this before part 2. So if you're wondering if I go live, this is on Tuesday, right? If you're wondering why part 2 of the live stream started late, it's because of this video uploading. I can't really, it's not a good idea to live stream while you're uploading a video, especially when you have low upload speed, okay? So part 2, Tuesday, August the 11th, Steam Games. I did a post of this announcement from a couple days ago. Alright, it's just like me celebrating 3,000 subscribers in 2023. Yeah, 3 years ago, that was also in August, those series of streams for the 3,000 subscribers special. I did 7 live streams. Wednesday, August the 12th, Super Mario games. Thursday, August 13th, Wild Tangent games, because I grew up playing Wild Tangent games, such as Fate, even though Fate is also a Steam game. The Polar games, all right, those were on Wild Tangent games. Friday will be Roblox. I chose Friday for that because I felt like that's like the right night to do Roblox on. And it's on, that might be a long stream. That could be the longest stream of this whole marathon. Maybe not. It might be the Saturday one, but there's a chance I might play Roblox with my mom's friends' children if they're available. Okay. I mean, they just started back to school, so they might not be available. But I know 5Taylor, you'll be available because you commented on that post. You're looking forward to the Tuesday, the Steam game stream, and the Friday, the Roblox stream the most. Hey, maybe you and I can do a call for the first time while we play Roblox. Saturday, August 15th, Nintendo games with friends. Yes, for the first time, my friends are going to come over on Saturday. We're going to play some games live. Because I told them about the 4,000 subscribers. And I think we can make this happen. I think we can all play games live on Saturday afternoon and evening. I think that might be the biggest stream of this whole celebration. And Sunday, to wrap it up, Mario Party 8 50-turn game. Now, originally, the last stream was going to be with me and my friends. I was going to do that. I was going to save that one for last, but I changed it because Sunday, my workplace is having a pool party for the employees, and I think I'm going to go to that. It's from 3 to 6 p.m., so yeah, that's why we decided to do the Saturday meetup instead of Sunday. But usually Saturday is a better day for all of us anyways, because we can stay up late. Because a couple times they stayed up, they would leave after 11 p.m. One time they left at midnight, and that was when the clock hit 6/7. The date 6/7, June 7th, because that was on that weekend, So that was so funny. Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, every night. And then Monday, August 17th, a gigantic video episode of American Truck Simulator Grateful Dead special. That'll basically be like to end this celebrating 4,000 subscribers. Because think about it. It all started with the Big Summer Party movie. I wanted to release that one first before I started the live stream series of the 4,000 subscribers marathon. All right. So I mentioned Grateful Dead. So, excuse me here. The shirt that I'm wearing, yes, the Grateful Dead. So, for those of you that tuned in to last night's stream, Monday night, for part 1, if you got the notification, I started the stream late. It was at 9:45 p.m. Central Time. And I explained why on the stream, but I'm going to explain it again. The reason why that stream started late was because earlier that evening, Monday, August the 10th, I went to the movie theater because the Grateful Dead had something called Meet Up at the Movies, where they played a concert on the giant movie screen. And that was my first time going to see a concert video played at the movie theater. And thankfully, I found this out on their YouTube channel. I saw a short. So that was awesome. I had to go see it. They showed it twice. Saturday at 3 p.m. and Monday at 6 p.m. I couldn't go to the Saturday one because I went to someone's party. And plus, the Big Summer Party movie was premiering that day. So I'm like, all right, let's do Monday at 6 p.m. We can totally do that. I went with my father. But I almost went by myself because I wasn't sure if he really wanted to go to that or not. I really wanted to go to that because I've never seen anything like this at the movie theater. We went. All right. And, I wanted to get something to eat. So this was at Cinemark. I got a hot dog, chicken tenders. It was pretty good. And then, of course, a bag of popcorn, medium-sized popcorn. I still have the bag. I still have the popcorn bag right here and the large Hi-C to drink. And so we got there. And there was quite a bit of people in the movie theater. Not a lot. I'm sure there was a lot more on the Saturday show. But I was looking. I didn't really say hello to anyone there. But I saw they were wearing their Grateful Dead shirts. Some of them were like a tie-dyed Grateful Dead shirt, so that was cool. So, 6 o'clock, right? Did it actually start at 6? No, it started at like 6:06 or 6:07. Which I guess that's kind of normal. If you're a sports fan, you watch a game. Does the game really start at 7? No, it starts at like 7:07, or maybe 7:10 the latest. And I was questioning myself: are they gonna play? You know how when you go see a movie in the movie theater, they play movie trailer after movie trailer after movie trailer before the movie that you're going to see finally begins playing. I asked myself, are they going to do that for this Grateful Dead show? No, they didn't do it, thankfully. They just showed quite a bit of commercials. And then the lights were off, and it was showtime. Now, they played, I think it was the first 5 minutes, they were just showing a Grateful Dead album cover picture with some photos of the band itself while Shakedown Street was playing. I mentioned that song played at the party, as well as the Fare Thee Well concert. So they were playing that, and then after that, David Lemieux appears on the screen. Yes, the Grateful Dead archivist, David Lemieux, who is the host of the Today in Grateful Dead History on SiriusXM, which I did play a lot of that in the last episode and the episode before that in American Truck Simulator, as well as the upcoming gigantic episode for Monday, August 17th, because of, Jerry Garcia special. Excuse me. Yeah, he recorded a clip of himself at his house. It's like, hey everybody, welcome to the Grateful Dead meetup at the movies 2026. We're going back 35 years ago to the old Giant Stadium, June, I forgot the exact date, but it was from June of 1991. And he was just saying, thank you so much for coming. Looking forward to this. You're going to hear songs like Eyes of the World, Dark Star, Truckin'. Yes. As soon as he said Truckin', that put a smile on my face. I'm like, oh shit, we're going to hear some Truckin', huh? That got me amped up. Yeah. And then after he did his talking, the concert started. This was at the old New York Giants Stadium, okay? Which no longer exists, okay? This was before, the current stadium. And it was weird because watching it, first of all, the sound was fantastic. It really was. The sound was fantastic. And the video was great. This is 1991, so the quality wasn't fantastic. This is like before HD cameras and stuff. But at least the sound was great. So let's see. The stadium looked like it was pitch black. Like you couldn't really see the fans very well. All you can see was the band members, okay? This was a couple of years before Jerry Garcia died. Jerry Garcia, he had like weird looking hair. I hate to say this, but this is his final few years of his life, where he was gaining weight and he was his health was starting to decline, kind of, and his hair was already gray. He wasn't even 50 years old yet, and he looked a lot older than his age. I don't know why. Well, it's because of his hair, but he still had a great singing voice, and of course Bob Weir was killing it. What's kind of interesting? All of them were wearing interesting clothes. Bob Weir was wearing a plain purple collared shirt, with the 3 buttons, the collared shirt, like a golf shirt. But he was wearing little short jean shorts, like something a female would wear. I'm like, what the heck? Why is Bob wearing that? And Phil Lesh, who is the other guitar player, he doesn't sing much, he just plays that guitar. He was wearing like a blue shirt and jeans. And I noticed, because I've seen some Grateful Dead concert videos on my TV screen on YouTube, he would wear that red, white, and blue wristband. And one of the drummers, Mickey Hart, I think that's his name, he also wore red, white, and blue wristbands. And you know what? When I saw those wristbands, I'm like, I wanted to get some. So yeah, I actually ordered some red, white, and blue wristbands because I thought they look really cool. Yeah, I kind of have a collection of wristbands. I don't know if you can tell, sometimes you'll see a wristband on my wrist just for the fun of it, Let me see if I can find it real quick. I don't know. Might not have it. I might not have it right now, but might have to find it at another time. But hey, red, white, and blue, USA colors. That's also the Grateful Dead's logo colors, red, white, and blue. But yeah, I don't really feel like finding it right now. I don't want to waste a lot of time finding it. But maybe I'll show it to y'all in the next episode of Eric's Top News. But yeah, all the Grateful Dead members were wearing interesting clothes. But Jerry Garcia, I think he was the one that's the most normal dressed up. He wore like he mainly wears plain t-shirts. but he was wearing like a big ass t-shirt, you know, and he was sweating. Like when they showed a close look on his face, he was sweating. I mean, this was during the summer, you know, it must have been hot. This was an outdoor stadium, even though it looked like it was indoors because it was so dark outside. So I found one of their posts on their YouTube channel. They showed a list of the songs that they were playing. So you got 2 sets. Set number 1, Eyes of the World, Walkin' Blues. I'm not familiar with that song, Walkin' Blues. So that was kind of new for me because I know a lot of Grateful Dead songs, but Walkin' Blues is not one of those songs. So that was a new experience. Brown Eyed Woman, that's actually a Bob Dylan song, I believe. That is let me look that up if that's correct. Bob Dylan is still playing, isn't that crazy? My parents actually saw him earlier this year. Yeah, Brown Eyed Girl, or Brown Eyed Woman from Bob Dylan. Then they played Dark Star. Now, they did not play Dark Star from start to finish. They played some of the instrumental Dark Star throughout the concert. So that's why I wasn't really familiar with this version of Dark Star. This is the thing about the Grateful Dead. Every concert is different. Every live album is different. It's different versions of the live songs, and that's what makes this really interesting. It's like a big puzzle that they're putting together. Because Dark Star, it starts off like this. Ba-bum ba-bum, ba-bum ba-bum, ba-bum ba-bum ba-bum. You know, I did not hear that. I did not hear that part. Because, you know, when you hear those first few notes of a song, you already know what it is, what song that is, if you're very familiar with it. But I did not hear that for Dark Star. Then they went on to play When I Paint My Masterpiece. Not too familiar with that one either, but I think I've heard of it before. Loose Lou, another song that I'm not really familiar with. Cassidy, I have heard that song before, but not a bunch of times. Might As Well. That was the last song for set number 1, and then they would have an intermission. Was there an actual intermission in the film? No. They went straight to the second set. The second set, they played non-stop, basically. They would go from one song to another. So the first song they played, Saint of Circumstance. I think I've heard of that one before. Ship of Fools, I have heard of that one as well before. Then they went back to Dark Star for a little bit. And then Truckin'. As soon as I heard those notes, oh yeah, here we go, Truckin'. You know, because American Truckin' Simulator, there you go. And then after that, they went to New Speedway Boogie. I think I've heard of that one. That does sound like a very interesting song. Then they went back to Dark Star into Uncle John's Band. That's a song that I did play at the Big Party movie. Really good song. I don't even know who Uncle John is. But that's a really good song. Especially that guitar solo where it goes like this. I like that. That's really cool. Then they go back into Dark Star one more time, and then there was no lyrics for like, I don't know, 25 minutes straight. Then the drummers were putting on a show. The drummers were putting on a show. And it's just kind of crazy how they do it, you know? And then it goes into space. And it sounds like this space type of music that you would hear. You know, it's hard to explain, but it's just like, wow, they're actually making these sounds. And then that went on for a while. The drummers took over. I don't know It's like I wonder if the guitar players, they went to the bathroom or something while the drummers were taking over, and then they went to China Doll into playing in the band, and the final song was Sugar Magnolia. Sugar Magnolia, blossoms blooming. That's Bob Weir would sing that song. And that was it. And even the people that was there in the theater with me, they were all applauding. So that was awesome. And yeah, they try to do I read about the history. They've been doing this almost every year since 2011, where they would show something like this in the theater, Grateful Dead show. So this is kind of like a yearly tradition. They try to have something like this every year. So I'll try to be on the lookout for next year. Who knows? Maybe next year it'll be 50 years ago, 1977. There's actually quite a bit of live albums that I liked from 77 of the Grateful Dead. I might play those next year for their 50th anniversary in American Truck Simulator. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was actually kind of long, I'm not going to lie. But their concerts are usually pretty long. It was like 2 hours and 45 minutes. But I was just snacking most of the time. It was really good, though. I mean, this is how they are, or how they were. They gave their fans their money's worth. They really did. They really gave their fans their money's worth. So I enjoyed that. My first time experience. I mean, that is like, obviously that's the band I wish I would like to see if I was alive much sooner. Because, you know, I love old rock and roll music. I got it from my father. So a big thanks to him. And there's a few old bands and artists that are still playing that I would like to see. So, hey, maybe I'll talk about some music from time to time. If you're into that, thank you. If not, then please skip this part of the podcast. So, yeah. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the Grateful Dead meetup at the movies in 2026. So that is why part 1 of the 4,000 subscribers special started late. And now part 2 might start late because I need to upload this. It's now 6:36 p.m. as I speak. Hopefully this won't take 3 or 4 hours to upload. So that's why I'm kind of moving at a faster pace, even though this is over 2 hours. I think this is the longest Eric's Top News podcast yet. Okay, let's get to on this date. Luckily, I already typed this out days in advance. On this date. Alright, on this date, August the 11th, 2022, I released a pretty short video called Olympic Games Tokyo 2020, the official video game of baseball. Yeah, it was just some Nintendo Switch clips that I recorded and put together. Then I did a series of that game in 2024 for the Summer Olympics that year. 2023, I did a live stream update. I'm back. Plus, thanks for 3,000 subscribers. Yes, that stream took place 3 years ago on this date. This was after my hiatus. I took a hiatus because I got a strike. On the same date as hitting 3,000 subscribers. So that was awkward for me. Like, I forget which one did I found out about first, the 3,000 subscribers or the strike. But it's like, oh, I got a strike. Wait, I hit 3,000 the same date. I know. So that was the last strike I ever got on this channel, thankfully. So yeah, I took a break and then I decided to come back to do a live stream update. In 2024, I released a video called Playing Arcade Games and Bowling with Friends. That was from 2021. This was with Hamza, Toby, and Brad, and my old friends Charles and his sister Rhiannon. Yeah. You know what's crazy? I met Charles, Rhiannon, Hamza, and Toby 16 years ago in 2010, elementary school. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, I somehow never got to release that video until 3 years later in 2024. That was like the first ever main event vlog, I believe. And this was back when I had my long hair. But it was cut about a week after that video took place. And 2025, last year I released a short called Too Much Traffic. It was only a 15-second short. I forget where I was coming from, but it was on Interstate 12, which is also an American truck simulator. There was so much traffic. I don't think the traffic was moving. If it was moving, it was very slow. But that short got like over 1,000 views. And I did a live stream of American Truck Simulator on this date, episode 112, Hulk Hogan Memories, because today is also Hulk Hogan's birthday. And you know, I'm a fan of the old pro wrestling, and sometimes they have a YouTube channel, WWE, and they also have one for WCW and one for WWE Vault. And on WWE Vault, they're showing a 24/7 live stream of Hulk Hogan greatest moments or matches because of his birthday. And I know it's crazy that it's already been over a year since perhaps the biggest wrestling icon ever passed away. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, mentioned this on the sports talk channel, Keith Sports News. You know, the first short on that channel was the news of Hulk Hogan's passing. So, yeah. Speaking of passing, this is going to be kind of awkward for me to say. This is the last thing I want to say before I end this big episode of Eric's Top News. Thank you so much for those that are still here. Tomorrow, August the 12th, will mark 3 years since Felix the Cat passed away. That's right. Do you remember that black cat that was in the older videos? Yeah. This is going to sound weird. I never actually did like a video of me mentioning his passing. And I think this is like my first time ever actually mentioning his passing. He passed away on, I remember it was on a Saturday, August 12th, 2023. And that was obviously sad. And it was during the hottest summer ever. He was outside by the swimming pool, and I just knew he was gonna die. I just knew it was coming. He just had enough. It was enough, you know. He was about 14 years old, and the reason why I never actually did a video of me mentioning his passing is because I still had unreleased videos of him, and I felt like maybe I should not say his passing on video, you know, but now I am. Yes, if you remember Felix the Cat, if you're wondering what happened to him, he passed away tomorrow 3 years ago. And I think it was last year and the year before I released some Felix the Cat videos in October, because October's Halloween month, and you know, black cats, that's part of the Halloween season. So you're probably wondering, do I have any more Felix the Cat unreleased videos? I actually do, but I don't have a lot, because I did release quite a bit last year, so yeah, rest in peace to Felix. That's why you don't see him much in the videos anymore, hardly, because he passed away tomorrow 3 years ago. So I just wanted to save that for last. It's kind of crazy. It's already been 3 years. And I remember when we first got him in 2010, when I was like 9 years old. And there's even some old photos I found of Felix, so maybe I'll share those in the future Felix the Cat. Maybe I'll do a Felix the Cat compilation. I like to do some compilation videos of my friends and Felix the Cat as well. This music, it sounds like the Ultimate Warriors theme music in a way. You know, the Ultimate Warriors wrestling music? Yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for those that listened to this giant episode of me recapping the Big Summer Party movie. Some Grateful Dead talk. And yeah, I'll see you next week, Tuesday, August the 11th, of me recapping all those live streams of me celebrating 4,000 subscribers. See you soon for more live streams. Thanks for listening to Eric's Top News.